Katie Tunstall, Sunday afternoon. Let's waste no time in bringing her in because she's doing a gig next Saturday in an iconic LA venue. But you haven't got to go to LA, not that you could if you wanted to, because you can watch it anytime, anywhere on the old interweb. Katie Tunstall, pleasure to have you on. How are you doing?
I'm very well. How are you?
I am marvellous. It's afternoon here. It's morning there because you're somewhere in the valley over near LA. Is that right?
I am in Topanga Canyon.
Oh, that sounds lovely.
Right up on the ridge. It's gorgeous.
I've been there. It's a lovely
Have
place.
you?
I have.
Oh.
I do like me LA. I would have gone this year, but the old COVID put pay to flying.
I know. The old COVID.
Which is
caused some problems, hasn't it?
It has. Someone will do an album called The Old COVID one day. But this.
Well, I can't wait until it is the old COVID.
Yeah,
We're way past it.
That's it. In the past tense, it'd be perfect, wouldn't it?
It would be great, wouldn't it?
Fingers crossed, touching wood and all that jazz. Now, you are doing a live-streamed event at the Whiskey A Go-Go, okay?
Yes.
And I've been by there, I've done the Hollywood tour, and the Whiskey A Go-Go
Fabulous.
is an iconic building in LA. It's an iconic music venue, more to the point. Just for people that don't know what we're on about, sell us the Whiskey A Go-Go so people know where you're playing.
So everybody's heard of the Sunset Strip, right? This is where it all went down. This is where rock stars are born. And so back in the 60s, the Whiskey A Go-Go, it sits right on the corner of an intersection on Sunset. It's got fantastic, it just looks amazing from the outside. You know that it's a rock and roll venue from the outside. It's got its awning, it's got its marquee with who's playing that night. Back in the 60s, it was the very first venue where everybody got to experience the Doors. And they became very famous for their performances at the Whiskey, as did scores of other rock and rollers. And, it's very unlikely that you're going to be disappointed by an experience of going to the Whiskey A Go-Go to see a show.
Do you want to hear my list of bands that the Whiskey... Okay, this is the people. Here's a handful of bands. Their careers were launched by playing just one musical venue in LA. The Doors, you've already mentioned. Chicago, Van Halen, Led Zeppelin, Kiss, Guns N' Roses, and AC/DC, to name but a few. That's everyone in rock.
What would the world be?
Exactly. That's everyone in heavy metal.
Think about how many hairstyles wouldn't have existed.
Or hairspray getting sold.
But yeah, it's a really amazing place. And for example, I just saw a phenomenal performance by Miley Cyrus in there that she just did to raise money for venues and crew here in America. And so it's continuing to really be a beacon of kind of progressive music.
And now we're adding Katie Tunstall to the list because you are doing it. You are doing it Saturday the 7th.
It's a live stream, so there's no audience. It's COVID measures, so the crew are all in masks, but we've got it'll be filmed. It'll be live, real time. It's me and my amazing drummer, Denny Weston Jr. And we do a very rocking two-piece show. And the really cool thing about this gig is I will have a screen at my feet as I'm playing, and it will be everyone's comments. So everyone watching can heckle me from the front row, and I will be interacting with people watching the show on the live stream, which will be really good fun.
You're going to get no heckles at all because we all love you. However,
believe me, Andy, I have had heckles.
Have you really?
I love a heckle.
Do you?
Absolutely love a heckle. I don't really get heckles. I just get people shouting stuff. My favourite thing is, in between songs, someone just goes, "I love you, Katie!" And if someone shouts, "I love you, Katie," I have to shout it back and guess what their name is. Once, I was like, right, this is what happens. If someone shouts, "I love you," I've got to shout it back and guess your name. And I went, "I love you, Sarah." And she went, "Yes!" And everyone was like, "You're a witch. It was really funny. I've never managed it since.
Right,
once.
Well, I'm going to do it. I'm going to do I love you, Katie, from Andy. And you've got to shout it back.
Listen, if you were in the crowd, I would recognise your lovely accent and I'd say to Andy straight away.
I've interviewed a lot of people that have done are doing the online gigs, but no one's ever got the interactive side where they can actually see the comments. And that's a wonderful thing because that's as good as being there, isn't it?
The thing that's amazing about gigs, Andy, is that you're in the room and you know that you're one of this group of people. You are the only people having that experience right now. the next night somewhere else, you're going to get a different experience. And so it just gives you that magic of knowing that you're part of something in the moment. And I think that we've missed that a lot in the streaming stuff because it just doesn't feel as special, you know?
I'm going to play one of your tunes, then we're going to come back and have a bit more of a chat. Can I play Hold On, as it's my favourite song?
You to.
And when I've seen you do it live, you do that very clever thing where you link it into Walk Like an Egyptian by the Bangles. I like that.
One of the best songs in the world.
It is. Do not go anywhere. Back with Katie Tunstall in just a moment. Hold On by Katie Tunstall. Katie Tunstall is with me now. She's doing an extra special gig next Saturday, November the 7th, and it is live streamed. Give us some details, Katie. How do we...
Yes.
Give us some websites, some ways of seeing, some times, etc.
Yes, anyone, anywhere in the world can watch this. And because of the time difference, I'm doing the gig at a very strange hour of 2:00 in the afternoon, which means that it's 10 o'clock in the UK. So it's a proper show for you guys in the evening. So it's 2 p.m. LA time, 10 p.m. in the UK. You have to go to veeps.com, veeps.com.
Yep.
And it's very obvious. You just click on veeps.com. Any of my socials or any of my social media, it's just at Katie Tunstall. You can click on that and it'll tell you where to get tickets. It's $10, which is probably about $8.50.
Nothing.
In the UK.
Can't get an ice cream for that.
Exactly. And it's one artisanal sausage. And yes, I think you can. If you can't watch it at the time, you've got a bit of time afterwards that you'll be able to watch it for. And you can also buy a special merch bundle where you can get a Katie Whiskey A Go-Go t-shirt and mask as well, if you want to go for the merch bundle, so it feels like you've actually been to the gig.
That's brilliant. In fact, out of all the people I've ever interviewed, you're doing the most to make it feel like an actual gig.
Oh, well,
you really are, because merch...
I don't want to do it unless it feels like a gig. That's my rule. It's just like, I don't want to do something that's rubbish. I want to do something that feels like you're actually going to a show. That's
great to have merchandise as well. And of course, the in thing now is to have T-shirts and a mask. You've got to have a mask, haven't you? It's the latest fashion.
And I will give you a little clue as well on the merch. It's a very cool black rock and roll mask with big letters that just say Katie A Go-Go.
I like that. I like that. That's ideal. And I take it, of course, we don't need to say it, but you'll be doing all the hits, won't you? The ones we know.
Oh, absolutely. You can't play the whiskey and not absolutely bang out your hits. You have to.
And when you go there, is there going to be a bit of nerves as well? Because I'm assuming you've not played there before. Maybe you have, but it's such an iconic place to go. You want to get it right, don't you?
Yeah. No, I actually have played there before. And I played there a few years ago, and then I played it was a fundraiser recently, and I played with a really amazing LA band called Vintage Trouble, who are incredible, and we did a cover of Roadhouse Blues by The Doors. It was so cool.
That's incredible. And of course for you as well, I imagine the same as everyone else, you're just waiting for that moment you can get back out on the road properly with an audience. The moment you are allowed to do that and there's an actual crowd in front of you, that's just going to be beautiful, isn't it? That's just going to be a moment.
It is going to be really beautiful because I've played a few gigs, very small number of gigs for audiences during lockdown, and it's really, really hard. It's great because it's a minute where we can kind of feel a bit kind of relief from everything that's going on, but it isn't the same. It's everybody's separated from one another and everybody feels a bit nervous, and I can't wait for us to actually feel relaxed and able to enjoy our music again properly.
Wonderful. Well, we'll give you the big plugs in just a second. I have got our quick fire round, which takes about 30 seconds. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Katie Tunstall, favourite song in the world?
Go Your Own Way, Fleetwood Mac.
Good tune. Okay, who is your secret crush? And be honest.
Oh my God, it's not that secret, but Keanu Reeves.
Oh, you don't keep it secret?
I also really fancy Robert Pattinson.
Do you?
Yeah, and he's too young for me.
Yeah, but is he though? Because you're very young looking.
Is he though? Is he though?
Yes, you're very young looking and he looks really old. You're ideal.
Good, because he looks really old, it's all fine.
Most famous person in your phone book on your phone?
I'm going to go for Sporty Spice.
You've got Sporty Spice on your phone?
She's been my BFF for ages.
Oh, she was on this show a month ago. She's lovely.
I love her.
Right, final
Love
question. If you weren't a singer-songwriter, what would you be?
I would be a jeweler.
A jeweler?
I have always had a dream, and I think I'm going to do it, you know. I've always had a dream about learning how to make jewellery.
Really?
Yeah.
That's great.
I have to say that when I was trying to get somewhere as a musician and it wasn't working, I stood outside a garden centre for a while wondering if I should get a job there.
Well, I'm glad it went the other way, because otherwise we wouldn't have your wonderful music. So, next Saturday, the 7th of November, go on to veeps.com, that's veeps.com, or you can follow any of the social medias and there'll be links to it at Katie Tunstall, okay? And it is live at the Whiskey A Go Go, okay? It's $10, which is about £8, which is absolutely nothing. And
I mean, grab a drink and come to an iconic venue in Los Angeles for the night. It's going to be banging.
Excellent. It's all live. So it's 2:00 over there, 10 p.m. this time, which is actual gig time for UK.
Yeah.
So it's perfect.
Perfect.
Good luck with the gig, and it's been a pleasure.
Thank you so much, Andy.
It's been a pleasure to speak to you. You are incredible.
You too.
And I look forward to speaking to you again soon.
I hope you get back to LA soon.
I will. Thank you. Cheers.
Cheers.
Bye. 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 Bye.